Thank you for staying with us. A lesson in futility. That's the way the first Vice President of the Estate Police Association, Ancil John Nicholas, describes a meeting between the association and members of the board of the Port Authority this morning. For the past week, officers stationed at the port of Port of Spain have been staging a go-slow to protest poor working conditions and the Port Authority's failure to issue back pay monies owed. Dion Batiste has more.
Before the start of the meeting, Second Vice President of the Estate Police Association, Ancil John Nicholas, said for too long management has ignored the cries of employees. Responding to claims that retired officers were hired and are being paid more than their aggrieved counterparts, he says such a move shows little or no regard for them. He hoped for a mutually pleasing resolution to this and other issues.
To me, this is a measure of disrespect, and disrespect we will not take from any employer, any management. We are tired of being treated as the bastard children of the Port Authority. It's about time that we end this. It's time that we get our due respect.
However, it was an obviously dissatisfied Nicholas who emerged from the meeting less than an hour later.
The port has shown no urgency with regards to the officers in their employ. They appear to be very laxed. No sort of care and concern and compassion to resolve this issue, and it was just a repeat of the past meetings.
He said the Port Police are at their wits' end and accused the acting general manager of the Port Authority of trivializing their plight.
Ms. Lewis is saying to us that her hands are tied with regards to Port Police, but her hands were not tied in terms of bringing or re-engaging retired Port Police back on the port. And they, from what I understand, will be receiving a salary of $10,000 a month. Now, that is more than any constable presently is getting.
Officers who spoke on the condition of anonymity told reporters that the vessels have been traveling between the islands with no officers on board.
Management would have taken that decision. What we are looking for today is dates and time, date for implementation of new salaries, all right, and date for payment of back pay. And what we are asking is that the Minister of Finance, the Honorable Colm Imbert, and also our line minister, the Honorable Fitzgerald Hines, intervene in the matter. It's no longer just about management and the Estate Police Association.
Mr. Ryan believes mature leadership is needed for swift resolution. He said they are prepared to work together for the greater good of the port, but they are not convinced that management is prepared to do the same. Dion Batiste, C News.
The Port Authority maintains the port police action is illegal. The acting general manager of the authority, Charmaine Lewis, told C News the port's management was surprised by the approach taken in the meeting by the Estate Police Association.
In the meanwhile, we held a meeting with the EPA in May, and we updated them as recent as last week, telling them the status of the negotiations, and that was that it was still with the CPU, and we have had no guidelines to be able to continue with the negotiations. Yes, we signed an agreement, a memorandum of agreement with the union, agreeing the payment of the arrears and the percentages that we would pay over the 3 years, but in that very agreement, it states clearly that it was subject to the approval of the CPO, and this is known to both parties. This is what we both signed it to. So actually, for the union to be withholding their labor or working to rule as they describe it, it is actually negotiating in bad faith, and it's, in my view, an unlawful action on the part of the union, because they know we don't have the authority to go ahead and finalize the agreement with them until we get the guidelines from the CPU.
Ms. Lewis assured, though, that the management of the Port Authority will endeavor to keep the lines of communication open until the issue is resolved.